The hero leads. Talking the plot. Making the bad guy better. Turn, turn, turn. The emotional color wheel. Hi, how are you? I'm fine. Take a step back. A limp and an eye patch. Is it primal? Congratulations, you finished writing your script. That's awesome. Hope it's not too long. So the biggest things that separates the newbies from the vets are the way we go about our rewriting processes. If you're new, odds are there is no rewriting processes. You're like, my film is incredible. I used the beat sheet, Dan Harmon's story circles in there. There's nothing wrong with my story. Well, odds are you're wrong. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the 9 corrections Blake Snyder recommends that we make in our screenplays. If you're excited to learn, give this video a like and let's get started. The hero leads.
Did you hear that? The future king!
Oh, don't hurt me. Oh, do it again.
Now this is a problem that I've had with the scripts that I've written in the past, and it is the classic case of the inactive hero. So our hero is kind of being dragged along this journey. Circumstances are being presented to him or her. But the problem is, our hero isn't the core reason why we are being taken on this journey to begin with. So our hero is gonna come across as unmotivated, and his desires and his goal is gonna come off as vague. He never seeks clues, they're just kind of given to him. He has no clear goals or ambitions. He just kind of exists and he doesn't know why. Now, if this describes your hero, fix it stat. Your hero must be proactive. If he's not a hero. That driving force behind why your hero moves must be clear to your audience. Now, here's a few questions Snyder presents to us in case our hero needs more raw. Is your hero's goal clearly stated in the setup? So what your hero wants should be obvious to the audience. So make sure his goals are spoken aloud and restated in actions and in words throughout the story. Do clues of what to do next just come to your hero, or does he or she actively seek them out? So if opportunities or solutions to your hero's problems just kind of emerge out of the blue or come too easily to our hero, then something's wrong. Every great story doesn't just have a random ex machina. Your hero cannot be handed his destiny. He's got to work for it every step of the way. Is your hero passive or active? If he's passive, that's a problem. So everything the hero does has to emerge from his or her burning desire. This desire is backed up by proactive, relentless actions he takes towards achieving his goal. Now this helps the audience feel how urgent accomplishing said goals are. Urgency and proactive thinking are clear signs that our hero is active. We've got to feel our hero's need to cross that finish line. Do other characters tell your hero what to do, or does your hero tell them? Now the hero knows the answers to the important questions, and others around him look to him for answers, not the other way around. Now obviously when it comes to his fatal flaw or central conflict, he's blind. But generally, if you see a lot of question marks swirling around the MC's dialogue, there's a larger problem. Now I know, we often give our heroes a pass when it comes to exposition, but generally, the hero leads. Talking the plot. Well, you were junior high school wrestling champ. Well, you were the #1 police detective on the force. Oh, how are you doing since your father passed?
He was the 02-03 junior high tennis champion. Apparently, during the third-year awards ceremony, he announced that he was hanging up his racket, and I guess he hasn't played competitively since.
I get it, you want the audience to know some backstory. Throw some photos up on the wall, because this kind of dialogue is bad. Do not resort to your characters speaking plot or exposition. It's easy, it's cheap, and it is a simple way to deliver exposition. But this is by far the least effective in eliciting a strong emotion in our audience, and ultimately will not separate our story from the pack. Snyder warns us that this is guaranteed to have your script thrown across the room by the reader. I know what you're thinking. Alan, there's no way I can tell them what backstory and exposition I have going on. I know it's difficult, but this is our job as excellent storytellers. It's our jobs as creatives to craft beautiful, poignant solutions to these problems. And as we work on solving these issues, we begin to refine and polish our screenwriting abilities. We've got to keep in mind that characters do not serve you. They serve themselves. They've got to walk into a scene with their words, their goals, and their objectives in mind, not yours. You reveal what they want, their goals, dreams, ambitions, hopes, and fears by not only what they say, but how they say it as well. Good dialogue tells us more about what's going on in the subtext than on its surface.
If you only knew how little I know about the things that matter.
What things that matter?
You know what things.
Subtle is better, and talking the plot is not subtle at all. It's overkill. So bear in mind the age-old storytelling axiom, show, don't tell. Now this problem, in particular, plagues the African-American screenwriting community. We must fix this. Imagine trying to convey an issue with a marriage, and you always have a noisy girl talking to a girlfriend saying, "Hey, girl, you know he can't keep it in his pants. I know he tried, but..." We don't need to show her talking to a girlfriend. We don't need to see a boring counseling session. Imagine how much you can communicate to your audience just by showing a man and his wife walking down the street. A beautiful woman with curves walk by. Where does the man's eyes go? Glued to that woman, just staring at the curvy girl with his wife right beside him. Now remember, your audience is a lot more perceptive than you think. Now the audience is gonna know immediately that there's trouble in paradise, right? Character is revealed by action taken, not by words spoken. And in a good movie, information doesn't come out in dialogue. It comes out in the actions we're watching play out on screen. And instead of backstory and exposition, you should be focusing on what's happening in your story right now, rather than focusing on what happened before the story started. Make the bad guy better. Why? Because your main character is proactive, he's great, he's awesome, he's amazing. So your antagonist has to be the reflection of what your hero is, except with no boundaries. The bad guy should be more effective at achieving his goals because he doesn't have any limitations or altruistic code or sense of morality prohibiting him from getting done what he has to get done. He's generally willing to do whatever it takes to get what he wants. The good guy has this box he has to work within. The bad guy is just like your good guy, except he has no box.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
We've got to make the bad guy so good at what he does that we as writers should be puzzled as to how the good guy is gonna get out of the bad guy's clutches. If we as writers get writer's block at the point where the bad guy's fortifying his forces, and you're thinking, how in the world is the good guy gonna win? How is he gonna get out of this one? It's generally a good thing. We really wanna be puzzled at that point as writers, because if we're puzzled as the story's architect, odds are your audience is gonna be puzzled. And this creates a lot of excitement and intrigue in our audience. Now we can reverse engineer in our stories and work backwards to plant seeds in our stories in Acts 1 and 2, things that the good guy may have missed that will eventually lead our good guy to success in Act 3, assuming he's been paying attention. We cannot protect our good guy from dangers and challenges. We've got to get used to throwing more at our hero than he can handle because that's how he or she grows. He needs an antagonist whose abilities surpass his own. Typically in a classic good guy versus bad guy film, the hero and the villain are two halves of the same person. They have much more in common than you think, but they usually have opposing goals and perspectives on the world. In many great movies, the protagonist and the antagonist are light and dark halves of the same person. Typically, the good guy has things to lose, like family, like friends, their jobs. That makes it more difficult for them to triumph over the antagonist. In most cases, the antagonist doesn't care what they lose or who they lose, and they're willing to sacrifice whoever they need to achieve their goals. The good guys wouldn't dare sacrificing loved ones to get what they want. So generally, protagonists have limitations and boundaries with respect to how they go about getting what they want, which makes accomplishing their goals infinitely harder than the bad guys. Turn, turn, turn. We want to be sure that as our film progresses, it doesn't simply float forward. The plot should spin and intensify as it moves forward. It's the difference between simple velocity and acceleration. Our first draft may consist of the plot just moving forward, but in our rewrites, we must go forward faster and with more complexity as we reach the story's climax. If all you've got is a chase, but nothing about the chase is provoking what's going on behind the audience's eyeballs, that's not good. Your audience is just watching stuff happen at this point, but nothing about the chase is compelling or engaging. Snyder says we don't just want kinetic eye candy with no forward motion. It's a chase with no stakes. They go here, they go there, but I don't care. And I don't know what or why I'm watching this. The story moves forward, but there is no turn, turn, turn. More must be revealed every step of the plot about your characters as we go forward. You've got to show how the activity of your plot is affecting your character's ability to make choices. You've got to show flaws, reveal treacheries, and fears of our heroes. You expose hidden powers and untapped potential our hero possesses. I'm paraphrasing, but Snyder says something like, show us facets about our characters that truly dazzle us like a diamond glistening in the light. So a plot doesn't simply move forward, it accelerates and reveals secrets with enthusiasm and charisma. If you're a filmmaker, you should grab a Clover Key to screw your camera plate onto your camera, and you'll have a bottle opener to boot. It'll help support the channel. Haven't seen my film yet? Don't worry, I'll post a link in the description below. Interested in learning from me one-on-one? Shoot me an email at alanprofilm@gmail.com. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. Until next time, peace.